I'm about to share a chapter from my life where I was naive. I'd just come to Canada. Before we applied, I didn't even know that there was a country called Canada or anything like that existed. But here I am, 21 years later, talking to all of you and bringing the community together and hosting events. I want to take you back in time where mental health, due to social distancing, but not because there was COVID, not because there was a pandemic, but because there was hurt, there was pain, there was the scare of coming to a new country. There was that fear of not knowing anybody. There was that bruised ego, if I may say, or the hurt of being rejected constantly. 20 years ago, when we were thinking of coming to Canada, and we were coming to Canada because of the fact that we couldn't stay in Dubai forever, and home for my husband and home for me were two different countries that were always at war. We decided to come here to be together as a family, to raise our kids in a neutral country where they will be respected and they will be cherished and they will be appreciated. They'll have a life. Landing in Canada, November 1999. Mid-20s, that's how old I was, with almost 2-year-old. And, it was November, it was cold. We had to come in a rush because of numerous reasons. So I wasn't really happy. I came from Dubai and I came from a very large community, and then we came to Canada and it was a small apartment. It was just the three of us, and it wasn't pleasant. And my husband started looking for a job. Like most of you, there are so many resources out here to help new Canadians, newcomers, new immigrants, new grads right now. But in those days when we came, I didn't even know these things existed. Then we went to apply for the Canadian visa. Our lawyer was, he painted this beautiful picture of the land of dreams, and my husband had so much education and I had entrepreneurial background, and we're not going to have a problem, and Canada needs people like him with this education. And he was a journalist in Dubai. He worked for a very reputable, actually, one of the #1 newspapers in Dubai. And we didn't expect that we're going to face troubles until we landed. And even when we landed, we didn't think it was going to be that difficult until he started looking for a job. It was quite a breakdown. It was February of 2000. I was home and he called me and he said, he tried doing the call center job. Like most newcomers, we try to gravitate to what we get the fastest, what is the easiest way to get a job. That time focusing on, tell him, like, honey, why don't you apply for a job in a newspaper, or, use your journalism skills and try to reach out to Toronto Star. But, and he would always say, you know what, let me get some experience. Let me get better, and then I'm going to reach out to those big newspapers. And I'd say, okay, he knows what he's doing. So the fastest, the easiest job that he got, he has great communication skills, was working in a call center. Now, you don't really know my husband, but he's one of those quietest guys who's extremely introvert, phenomenal person, amazing. Does not like answering the phone, does not like being on the phone. So for him to be in a call center, it was a bit challenging. But what was even more challenging was, we grew up in a culture where there was a lot of respect, and we came from a country that gave us a lot of respect. So suddenly here we're calling people to sell, which was completely out of his nature. He was getting people hung up on him. He was being abused on the phone, and it wasn't a pleasant experience. So he thought, maybe people can hang up on you and be rude on the phone. So maybe you'll try something else. I mean, at the end of the day, we wanted to make a living. Yeah, sure, we had a nest egg, right? We came in with money. We did pretty well in Dubai, so we had quite a bit of money when we came. But if we start using the savings, if we start using that money, we're not going to have, we're not going to have enough, or whatever, we're going to run out. So we decided, okay, he went to do a door-to-door salesperson job. And that time he got his first job with a company that sold security systems. So he'd go door to door, knock at the doors, and try to sell security systems, completely against his nature and personality and everything. His mindset was that people would be nice to him, except that wasn't true. People were closing doors on his face. Now, imagine somebody not being comfortable with people hanging up. How would he be comfortable closing doors? One day, I remember it was mid-February, and he called me from a payphone. Of course, we didn't have cell phones at that time. He called me from a payphone and said, "Honey, I can't feel my fingers. I don't know what to do." So I said to him, "Just come home. We'll figure it out." And mind you, we had some money in the bank, right? So it wasn't a desperate situation, but it was a tough one because I was going to have a baby in a month. So to get into that was difficult. But very confidently, I told him, "Come home." He hung up. I broke down. I called my mom, and I said, in India, and I said, "I really don't know what we're doing here. And I'm in a situation I can't even come back. So I don't know. I don't know what to do." And she said, "It's okay. Just calm down. Figure out today. Tomorrow will be taken care of. It's just the time frame. Okay, this too shall pass." She's really frustrated. What started happening over the next few weeks was quite difficult. I started getting depressed and stuck, and mind you, I was going to have a baby shortly. So it was like I had a 2-year-old and I would say a pesky 2-year-old and a baby on the way, and I was really frustrated. In my frustration, I contacted the editor-in-chief of Mississauga News. And letters to the editor, don't read it right now, but I know that was my source of venting. So I called her and I pretended to be him, and I said, "I am a newcomer to Canada. I have a master's in journalism. I have these many years of experience, and this is what the lawyer said, and I was so excited to be here, and now I've come here, and this has been my journey, and it's been really frustrating. How can you guys and people here in Canada talk so great about Canada and the land of dreams and blah blah, and this is what we're struggling with." And then she started asking me, "Okay, so tell me about some of the articles you've written." And here I'm like literally pretending to be him, right? I've traveled to different parts of the world. I'm a music journalist, and I've worked for one of the top newspapers in Gulf News and in Pakistan. And she's like, "Okay, you sound really exciting, How about this? Tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, let's have an interview." Interview? Seriously? And she said, "Yeah, I'd love to meet with you. We may be able to create a position for you. You said you're a music journalist, and we do get a lot of people come to Canada and a lot of musicians, and we have a lot of musicians here. Maybe you can start with covering our events and doing the entertainment part of journalism with us." All right, this was not expected. Sad, right? I pretended to be him. I was having a baby. I was not the journalist. So it was a bit awkward, and then I had to come clean. I had to say to her, "Listen, I'm not the journalist. It's my husband. and was really frustrated and, cranky, and this is our situation. Is it okay if I send him for the interview? And she said, of course, sure. And he did. And guess what? He ended up becoming one of their writers. The story started. His career started. And he started working at Mississauga News. A lot happened after that, but that's for another time. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that, without even realizing, that was my first cold call. So the social distancing, we're so blaming on Corona right now. And I keep saying this to everybody and to on the show and wherever I write or I speak, I say that job search is job search. There needs to be a focus, there needs to be a goal, there needs to be an action plan. And then there needs to be action. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed ever. Corona or no Corona. Yes. What's changed right now is the ability to be able to meet with people one-on-one, the ability to go to events. But I'm telling you this from experience, right? I am the one that was so against having this virtual connection. And I am the one who converted and had my first virtual event, networking speed mentoring event, if I may say, a couple weeks ago. It was so successful that I had a second one yesterday. And do you know the testimonials I got? The testimonials, the feedback I got from participants and from mentors was fantastic. They could be anywhere in the world. I had people join in from Oman. So yes, I did see a message. I had somebody from Muscat. I had somebody from Abu Dhabi. I had somebody from Dubai. I had somebody from India. I had somebody from Alberta, from Vancouver. I had literally somebody from, okay, not everywhere, but, different parts of the world joining in to be a part of this event, to learn more about what these mentors had to say, to discuss those challenges, to discuss those struggles and get advice, which would not have been possible had it been a face-to-face situation, right? A face-to-face event. So the most important part right now is, we've been having these social distance challenges or these, I don't even know what other word to say, but social distancing, I guess, when we're facing those rejections. And we've been dealing with it in different ways. We've picked up the phone to share our frustrations. We've picked up the phone to speak to people. So in times of challenges right now, specifically, be out there. And when I'm saying be out there, I'm not saying please go out, but really pick up the phone and talk to people. Don't feel like talking to people, write about it. Be visible. Comment about it. Reach out.